But now it is time for our main event here at 0 Hour, a singles match scheduled for one fall for the Premier Championship.
It's main event time, BC Steel, and this could end in a forfeit. We don't even know if Ron Mathis is going to show up to defend the title.
Can you throw your weight around any more today?
It's not my fault. Mathis is out of control. Dave Kitch is out of control. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Mathis needs to follow the 90-day rule. Kitch needs to follow the stipulation that he's not supposed to be here. People would just listen. This would go so much smoother. It's amazing so many things in wrestling are such chaos because people don't listen to each other.
First of all, Dave Kitch was assaulted.
By who?
By the fans and by Andrew Palace.
Okay, well, if he wasn't in the building, none of that would have happened. Wait, look at Mathis. Mathis is apparently going to meet Gory head-on. Gory's the only culmination member left standing. Mathis, the only member of the court in attendance. This will be one-on-one, maybe for the only time in this turf war. It's finally the most prolific member of each faction, and they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
You think of great championship matches of all time, I don't think you're going to see a feeling out process between these two. These two know each other very, very well. They've been on both sides of the coin here. They've been teammates. They've been, obviously, foes. But right now they are bitter enemies, and the prize at stake is the Premier Championship.
And they're fighting all over the fans. Mathis is tearing Gory to hit him, but man, this is going to be absolutely chaotic, and I wouldn't picture anything else as a way to cap off 0 Hour tonight. Oh, not again.
I was just going to say, there is an ace in the hole, and that is Ron Mathis being the champion.
And you knew Mathis was too prideful and maybe too nuts to take a forfeit loss and have to relinquish his title. Mathis was going to go one-on-one with Gory, no matter what the potential consequences.
You know what? You got to give it to Mathis. What a fighting champion. He already had a matchup tonight. He was spent. He was tired. And after a gross abuse of power,
Gory throwing one of the shirts from the merchandise table in Mathis' face to blind him. And digging up the back. Keep in mind, Gory was seconds away from making Mathis tap out at November Pain until LaRusso ran in because the intentional disqualification. There's nobody to run in this matchup. Remy LeVay was injured earlier. Atticus was injured a few weeks ago. LaRusso and the main event are suspended. It is one-on-one for the top prize in Premier. Oh, God! Mathis suplexed hard on the floor. This is the opportunity Gory has been waiting for many, many months. This is the title that the culmination had set their sights on since day one here in Premier.
And you'd have to think that this is going to do a lot for one of these factions or the other. I mean, if Mathis is able to retain the title once again, as we have seen time and time and time again, there's unstoppable momentum with them. But on the other hand, if Gory is able to wrestle that title away, interesting choice of words, from Mathis, I mean, that changes the landscape as we see it. What does that do for LaRusso? What would that do for the main event?
What would that do for Mathis' psyche?
Which I try not to think about that.
Mathis charges, that did not pay off. New Age Plague, able to connect. Mathis, look at this. Gory rolling off the apron. Hurricane Rana connects.
You know, Mathis does have an unusual offense, shall we say.
But I'll tell you, it's worked for him.
Absolutely. Mathis
has been a champion in Premier for a cumulative 399 days. Will he reach 400? If he and the bell just sounded to start the match. If Mathis makes it to midnight, he'll reach Magic 400.
Well, with the way these two can go, we could be here till midnight.
Well, Mathis was able to send Gory down with a power slam. Is there one particular man in this matchup you feel the one-on-one variety favors? There are no factions, there are no distractions tonight.
Well, it's really hard to say. I mean, to be honest, with the voices in Mathis' head, he may have an entire faction with him at all times.
Mathis letting Gory think about this.
And when you're one-on-one...
I'm the champ!
He is the champ. What else he says, when you're one-on-one with Gory, he may be pound for pound the best wrestler around.
That's a very, very strong argument to make. Gory's slipped under a lot of people's radar, but he has ruled Premier for pretty much since day one. Former welterweight champion, the man that almost busted the bracket of the first ever Premier title tournament. And it's Mathis in control, however. Gory may have had his fleeting moment in November that was ruined by LaRusso. I don't know anybody in Premier history that's been able to have Mathis beaten twice.
Well, Joe, that may be the case, but who is the Premier champion?
Well, it's obviously Ron Mathis, but it's Gory attempting a sunset flip. And Mathis loses his balance. Shoulders down for 2. And Mathis back with a hard clothesline.
Yeah, Ron Mathis truly believes that he'll be the Premier champion forever. That's not just...
You don't say.
Yes, I do say it.
I kind of got that inkling once or twice tonight.
Well, yeah, I just want you to know it's not just cute. But there you go, right on cue.
What about what Gory said earlier, that he was going to make forever into forgotten?
Well, that could very well be.
Gory dropped powerbomb-like maneuver for 2.
You know, I don't know what's scarier. Ron Mathis with the Premier Championship, without the Premier Championship, with the Russo's cord and toe, without it.
Mathis is a huge X factor, and Gory, little helter-skelter action, traps Mathis, but an illegal choke in the ropes. Gory can only get about 4.5 seconds out of it, but he did his damage. Mathis sends Gory off the apron. Gory smacked his head on that steel guardrail, and Mathis reminding us his calling card.
I think that psychs him up. You know, he views himself as the Premier champion forever. I mean, did you hear how upset he was at you?
Yes, I was there.
I mean, did you feel that? Because I could feel it all the way up here. I can only imagine what it felt like for you.
Well, I mean, I did the ruling that I felt was best for the company.
Yeah, but you couldn't have given him maybe an extension or so? I mean, he is the champ.
We needed a main event tonight. Mathis beat the hell out of Remy. Atticus isn't here. Mathis with an elbow. You gonna tell me that Gory doesn't deserve this opportunity? Oh, near fault.
I'm not saying that. You're putting words in my mouth. I agree. I understand he is eligible for the opportunity. There's no doubt about it, but you have to be fair to the champ. He had already gone through a matchup. It's not his fault that he was in 6-man matches and tag matches. Ron Mathis is a busy man.
Let's not act like I am the only man that makes matches around here. Obviously, well Gory went for that splash, that cross body. Mathis had sidestepped it, and Gory may have landed very, very awkwardly. My point a moment ago being, obviously, the culmination of Russo's court all wanted the matchups they were in. They weren't forced, they didn't do it under duress. So Mathis is using that as a roadblock and a cop-out. And right now, it's Mathis with Gory on the apron. We saw this happen to Remy earlier. And do an incredible amount of damage. Good grief, this guy's nuts. Remy came in with that injured back and neck, and now Gory may have an injured back and neck thanks to Mathis.
Well, you know what? The culmination will all have something in common. Hospital rooms. I mean, and it's going to be at the hands of LaRusso's court, and I mean, taking our 2 culmination members has to be a fun day for Ron Mathis.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. I think Mathis would enjoy that a hell of a lot, but we're a ways away from that, but Gory gets dropped in the back of his head with a German suplex.
Damn trash!
Paraphrasing. Second German suplex.
That there is the beginning of the end! Don't look at your phone, watch me!
You know, it's it's nice of Ron Mathis to direct the people, too, to let them know what they should do.
People can do what they want to do.
Ron Mathis would make an excellent life coach.
I think the people want to see a changing of the guard, personally.
Well, I don't think they understand forever.
I think we understand it all too well. Gory trips up Mathis, drops him with a DDT.
Dropped him right on the top of his dome piece, but
And could be a pivotal turning point in this matchup, depending on who can get to their feet first. This match has been so physical. Every time these two have collided, it's been very physical. What does each man have left? Gory with the knees. Top prize and premier at stake in the all-important balance of power in this turf war.
So I'm going to be honest, before tonight, I don't remember the last time we've seen a Culmination member and a member of LaRusso's Court that didn't end up being a riot of sorts.
Mathis sends Gory off balance. Gory was going to take a chance. He thrives in that environment. Mathis shuts him down. What is this? You've seen follow-away slam from this position before. I think Gory knows that. Gory got dropped, but trips up Mathis in the process. Double stomp down to the chest. Good grief. Will this be enough? Do we have a new champion? No.
I'll tell you, Mathis there was celebrating. And that's the thing. That's where LaRusso would guide him, tell him to stay focused. That's where the main event can maybe help him out a little bit. But we see Mathis unhinged even more than normal.
Gory signaling for the Soul Eater. That's what Mathis looked to be about to tap out to in November. But Mathis counters with a Tiger Bomb. Got him, no. And seamlessly into a crossface. Will Mathis make Gory tap out?
See that weird, sadistic, wide-eyed look. Would you like to run into him in a dark alley? Or a lit alley, for that matter.
Mathis is a man incensed. Gory reverses, 2 count only. Gory a thrust kick. Mathis trying to fight through it. He's thinking forever. Gory thinking forgotten. Pump handle. Gory driven down hard. And Mathis hangs on.
Mathis not done yet.
Oh, pile driver, this will do it. Gory got spiked. Near fall. And Mathis with a cover like that, he didn't deserve to win the championship matchup that way.
I got to agree with you. That was a huge mistake.
And telling the referee to ring the bell, but that's not going to work.
That was a huge mistake by Mathis. He needs to get the positioning, he needs to get the weight, he needs to get everything he can to keep Gory down.
I don't think Mathis, in his own mind, with his own warped logic, can believe Gory is still fighting.
In Mathis's mind, I don't know quite what all's going on upstairs, but perhaps a tombstone pile driver of sorts, if that's what he's calling for.
We've seen Mathis put many a man away with that as well. We saw a torture rack earlier. Tombstone coming up. Oh, Gory kicks his legs. Gory counters. Into trepidation. Gory's got him. No.
Referee said 2. That means your champion is still at this point. Joe, you know who it is?
Who's that? Tell me.
It's Ron Mathis. You know how long it's going to be?
Oh, enlighten me.
Forever.
Oh, stop it.
Well, he can't yell it.
No, he's got more important problems, without a doubt. Forever may have a shelf life, but Gory's favoring his neck. Mathis is in pain. Official with hey, we could end in a double count out.
Well, that would still continue forever, for sure.
Mathis to his feet. Baited Gory in that time. Hangs Gory up first on that top rope. We already saw one champion leave and get counted out earlier.
Well, maybe Mathis saw that and was inspired by it. There you go, Joe.
Or maybe, well, Mathis has a championship. Is he going to pull a Bostic from December and get intentionally disqualified?
You know, I never thought I'd say this, but Bostic and Ron Mathis have a lot in common.
Oh, come on. Mathis doesn't give a damn anymore. He's just trying to get out of this. Official grabbed the title. Wait, Gory's massaging that neck. He's getting the mist ready. Oh, Mathis out of the way. Referee nearly missed it. But Mathis makes contact with the official.
Well, Mathis hit, not the way he wanted, but that's effective.
Yeah, Mathis doesn't care. He may care now. Right into the waiting knees of Gory. And now, QAS, but there's no official. Mathis is down for far past 3.
Well, you know what? These people can count to 400 if, well, they'd never get that far. They can count to whatever they want to without a licensed official in that ring. It doesn't matter.
Mathis' count to 400 may be interrupted if we can get some law out here. Mathis could hit 400 days, or he could have the worst night of his life. Gory's trying to revive the official. Gory can't win without the referee, and Mathis downstairs.
Well, Joe, that is what we would call the great equalizer.
Mathis turns Gory right in to the tombstone.
And Joe, this is it. Forever continues.
We've seen Mathis beat many a man this way. And now add Gory. No! Gory kicks out. He's got something left.
Joe, how?
And Mathis, to say the least, in disbelief.
Joe, where does Mathis go from here?
Mathis may be asking himself the same question.
I mean, I don't know how much Gory has left in the tank.
Well, both these men may be on fumes, but the Premier Championship is willing them forward. Mathis measures Gory. Oh, torture rack. We saw it in Remy LeVay earlier. Will Mathis bend and twist Gory into unconsciousness? Mathis thinks Gory's out. Here we go. This is going to get called. No, Gory keeps that hand up. Gory keeps the hand up. And by any means necessary, counters. Mathis catches Gory coming in. Pile driver again.
But Joe, Gory just took too much. So.
Oh, but that thirst for flesh comes out once more. QAS once more. Gory, no, couldn't keep Mathis down. But now, the Soul Eater. The Soul Eater cinched in center of the ring. Mathis nearly tapped in November.
Mathis has nowhere to go.
There's no LaRusso. No main event. Mathis taps. We have a new champion.
And the new Premier Champion, the new rights play, Gory!
Forever has become forgotten. The court has lost their crown jewel. The championship is in the clutches of the culmination.
Well, Joe, you said that we were on our way to 400, did not get there. I don't know what happens with Mathis. I don't know what happens with LaRusso's court. I know there's going to be a lot of sour feelings, no doubt. But this is a huge win for the culmination. And more importantly, your new Premier Champion, Gory.
The Premier Championship was first introduced nearly 2 full years ago. The culmination targeted from the outset. And finally, after 23 months, Gory holds that crown for the very first time from his Cleveland debut as Crimson's henchman some 8 years ago to now being the man on top. Premier Championship Wrestling, the infection on Premier has truly been fulfilled. A new champion a new day, perhaps a dark cloud, depending on your opinion, in Premier Championship Wrestling, but forever has truly become forgotten, and the New Age plague captures the Premier Championship.